this video where I bring you into my closet, or at least the beginning of my closet, while I share with you about my journey through storytelling. Basically, because on Sunday, which is tomorrow, at least by the time you'll be watching this, it would have been over. I'm going to be having my first ever performance, storytelling performance on stage in the United States. So let's go back memory lane a bit while I figure out what to wear. Yep.
How you like that? You gon' like that?
Actually, I'm not so much so figuring out what to wear because I already had all of that dilemma off camera. So I have decided on putting on this white chinos like kind of thing. I'm not going to be putting it on in this video because in the next video I'll put out, I'm going to be taking you with me to the show, to the performance show. So you're going to see the outfit, I'll take some pictures and all of that. So this is basically a sit down and talk video, and I'm in my PJs because it's evening while I'm shooting this. The performance is tomorrow. I don't have my piece in my head, but I'm figuring it out, and probably I'll make another video about how I'm able to get my piece in my head. I don't do poetry. People say poetry is easier to, put in the head faster, but I do storytelling. I'm a storyteller mainly. So I have my own way of at least trying to remember, even if it's two sentences in the story I wrote down, and then I use my head to just make up the rest. So yeah, usually when I'm on stage, that happens. I forget most of what I wrote down, and I have to practically tell another story from my head, but just following the storyline of what I wrote. So what I'm trying to find now is the program I'm going for tomorrow. I had to pay for it. It wasn't free. Table is about $50. I can't afford that. Not right now. So I just paid for admittance into the hall. So that is, you having a chair is not certain. So I hope my boots will let me stand for long in case I don't get a chair, but hopefully I get a chair. So first of all, this is what I'm wearing. I'm still trying to look for I think this is it. No, this isn't it. I'll put it on the screen here. I wanted to wear a pair of jeans before, but I wanted to use black turtleneck with it, and I think my black turtleneck is dirty. So the only way I envision the jeans trouser in my head is with a black turtleneck, and since it's dirty, that just means I can't put on the jeans. So usually that's just how it is with me. If I figured out an outfit and one of it is not available, it just feels like I can't wear that outfit. My brain will practically shut down. I won't be able to think of any other thing to add to the outfit. It's a whole thing, yeah. So basically I decided to put on this blue turtleneck, and I have three turtlenecks: white, blue and black. I was really feeling the black for tomorrow, but since it's dirty, I'm going to put on this, and I wasn't feeling this one with the jeans, so definitely I won't wear it with the jeans. So I remembered I have these white shoes that actually is manly, but I hijacked it, so it's not mine, and I love it so much. The problem is it gets stained easily. For example, I don't know what this thing is, but I've been there. So hopefully nobody looks at my back. Everybody should just look at my front. That's just the point. So I'm going to be putting this on with this turtleneck. It's still very cold. I think today it was 62 degrees earlier, and the weather showed that it will be getting colder as the day goes by. So probably tomorrow it will even be much colder. So my turtleneck, and then I have this sweater I love so much. I've had this sweater for about 5 years now, since 2018, but it's still surviving. I really want to buy more of it because it's so versatile. I use it to style gowns, skirts, trousers. It's really very, and especially for this weather, it's so good for layering also. You can practically layer anything with it. And so I really love it. For earrings, poetry open mic program is kind of like an African, Afro-American, Caribbean kind of vibe. So I'm going to put on these earrings that was made for me by a brand called Afri Afrik. Oh, I actually used to know them with them, but they changed their name, so now it's hard for me to remember the new name. So I'm going to also link them in the description and put it on the screen. So I have this African looking earring. I wanted to put on a pair of trousers that was made with African fabrics, but again the turtleneck I like to use with it is that. Okay, let me show you. The first thing that actually came to my mind to wear for the program was this, the turtleneck. The turtleneck, and then that turtleneck was dirty. And so I was like, oh no, okay, so what else can I wear with another shirt I walked around? I thought it was jeans. But with the jeans, I still want to use the black turtleneck. So it just went without saying that I couldn't wear any of either this or the jeans. So I had to go for a totally different option. And my mind went to the white trouser, and it was just a hit with this. And then you'll be seeing the pictures later. So I really, really, really am happy with this choice. With the earring, I just like how the red is just somewhere, gonna be popping, and the outfits. There's basically two shades of blue. There is a shade of blue on these two. So I really can't wait to see how the colors, communicate and contrast and complement each other. I feel like it will be beautiful. My hair is getting rough. I'm supposed to go with my hair probably next 2 weeks. I'm going to be taking you along for that. Cindy is going to make my hair, of course. If you don't know who Cindy is, that means you're lagging behind in the videos. Go and watch one of the videos where I made my hair for the first time in the US. So I'm gaining new experiences, which is fun and which is not too fun most times. But then we're figuring it out, and probably one day I'll talk about all of that. So back to the story time. I wanted to talk about the first time that I did storytelling on stage was in school, in university. I attended a school called Niger Delta University, and then what happened was that someone who I would always be grateful for, because he started me on this path of storytelling on stage. He organized a poetry program in school. His name is Rolando Fio. He currently pioneers one of the best book clubs in Bayelsa State, where I'm from. It's called the Glory Land Book Club. So Rolando Fio is the one who created the program. Hold on, let me check if this is recording. Rolando Fio is the one that created the program. Sound of Poetry was the, I think, first edition. So he did it in one of the halls in the university called Lecture Theatre 1. That's usually the hall where theatre students have their rehearsals, and those people called. You have to be up for theatre as students. It's not easy. From like sometimes 5 a.m. they're up dancing, rehearsing. Sometimes they stay all night just to rehearse. Anyway, so Roland organized the program, and it was kind of like an open mic kind of thing I'm going for tomorrow. Someone in my class called Tonye. Tonye was my friend in university. So she knew Roland up close and personal even before school. So I was like, oh, I'd like to perform at his program. And she was like, okay, she will talk to him. And so he allowed me to perform. But it was my first time. I didn't know jack of what I was doing. I usually just wrote stories. Didn't know anything about performing. I was just like, oh, I like to do this. And I wrote the story down in my book. I think I still have that book. I can't remember what the story was. I can't remember what it was, but I know I wrote it down. And I usually still write my stories down, even for tomorrow. Let me show you. This is the story I'll be performing tomorrow. I wrote this down when I was at work. So it wasn't enough paper, it was just the paper I had at hand. So I wrote down this, then it wasn't enough space. I wrote here and I wrote here. So this was the end of the story. I think, yeah, this was the end. So it's part of my process is for taking in the story of how I first write it down on paper. I'll tell you the rest of what I do on another day, in another video. I wrote down the story. I didn't have it in my head yet, and I was like, how would I present this? It was my first time in front of all these people. But then I actually just decided I wouldn't take this book up there because nobody had taken the book up there for the whole night. And because I was like up and coming, nobody knew me or whatever. So they put me amongst the last people to. Is it last or first? Definitely it can't be first, but if I start the program, people may leave. And if I end the program, yeah, it's definitely last because like they will want to keep it for even if some people have gone, it's okay. If people are not, they want to listen to this girl. You get I was amongst the last people. Nobody had used book up there. I can't do that to myself. And I mustered the courage, I went up there. When I talk about mustering the courage, it wasn't courage because I went up there and I was blabbing. Oh, I'm happy to be here. It was like church testimony time. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for coming. I love you all. People that I don't know. Because I was so nervous. My friends were telling me when I came down from the stage later that when I was doing all of those, I'm happy to be here. I love you all. Like they under their breath, they just like, Jemima, just start. Story, just start. But I was there just like, but at the end of it, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I don't know how long it took to do all those, oh, I love you, all kind of things. I finally started the story. Of course, I forgot most things in the story, which is still the case now, even after all these years. So something in 2015, I think. So that's how many years ago? About 8 years ago. I still forget the thing I tried to put in my head. So of course that day I forgot, but it went well. People liked it and all of that. And that was the beginning of my storytelling journey on stage, actually. So from there, I think someone saw me because Roland brought people from Port Harcourt. For those of you who don't know, Port Harcourt is like the biggest city, the capital city of Rivers State, which is another state close to Bayelsa State where I'm from in Nigeria. So he had brought people from Port Harcourt because there's a poetry club in Port Harcourt, literary club in Port Harcourt. So he had brought people from Port Harcourt. And some of those people from Port Harcourt, I remember Black Jesus, I remember Mr. Oh no, I can't forget his name. Mr. Joshua, actually. I'm trying to remember the rest of his name that is more popular. So they had come from Port Harcourt to support Roland. And so they were like, oh, what's your name after the whole thing? Jemima, right? I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, they like my piece. Of course, I will need more confidence in my voice. It's a very good thing. So do you do this, all the time? I know this is my first time ever. And the encouragement was so good. I was so happy. My classmates who had come were like, oh, so you can do this kind of a thing. And nobody knew me. I was like, oh, I was really feeling myself and I was happy. So I was like, okay, this is something I can do. And that was the first time. From that first time, I had got many more things over the years. Not all the time, of course, but as any poetry program comes up, it was almost like, okay, there's poetry program and then there's Jemima who just does storytelling. So it almost became like a thing or a niche or something. So it was like, it's poetry program, but anytime you see Jemima on stage, she does storytelling. So it was like, being the one egg amongst the many eggs kind of thing. And my storytelling has always had the vibe of something laid back, something like a story you listen to from someone older kind of a thing. That's the feedback I usually get from people. Imagine your grandma telling you a story, and so I guess people liked that vibe because it's different. I don't see it as different. I still see myself as not doing this thing well because I still go on that stage, forget my lines, forget everything. But people always still want to call me when they see me in places. And my house is such a place that it's not small, but it's like a small. I don't want to use the word small because that's kind of derogatory. It's not small, but it's almost like a place where you go somewhere and everybody is there. You go to an event and everybody is there. So that's what I mean. So I can come into a place and like 5 people are saying, "Oh, Jemima, Jemima, Jemima." And to me, I'm like, how do these people know me again? From storytelling. That's just it. Because again, remember I said you can go to a place and everybody is there, everybody by your side is there. So where we have these poetry things, it's like usually the same people that go. Do you understand? So everybody has seen you on the post, everybody has seen you on stage. And because I'm short-sighted without this, I can't see shit. I don't see them, but they see me. So it's that kind of a thing. And so I come on those stages and people expect so much. And most of the times I'm just trying to wing it. I've forgotten my lines. I don't know what I'm doing there. Like I've never seen not been able to fit in a mic properly before. I was trying so hard and my artificial knees pulled out and fell. I kind of embarrassing thing, but I still winged it and did my best and left that stage with my head held high. So tomorrow I'm hoping that kind of energy would be for me again, and the people's energy to receive would be like that. So I'm not asking for too much. I'm just asking myself to show up and just take the stage and do my best. I forgot to say these are the boots I'm going to be wearing tomorrow. Like I've told you, the ticket I got is not for a table which will guarantee a seat, but then I'm hoping that I get to sit. But if I don't get to sit, these boots are usually comfortable enough to stand in for a while. And of course it's cold, so I'm going to be putting on socks, and the boots shod my feet perfectly. So I need to get about 2 more boots like this because this is the only reasonable heel boots I have. The other boots I have are low boots and they are ironically not as comfortable as these ones. I don't know why. I'm thinking it has something to do with how the shoe is built. Yeah, so but these ones are usually good even though they are heel boots. So that's what I'm going to be wearing tomorrow. So yeah, by the time you're watching this, I would have performed my first ever storytelling performance on stage in the US. And so the next video you're going to be seeing after this one is you actually coming with me to that performance. Thank you so much for joining me.
Sometimes I forget to be grateful. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I don't have the things I would like to have. But one thing I'll never forget to do is encourage others. Start from where you are. Tomorrow is always promised if you believe it.